Welcome back to the European Gymnastics Championships from Rimini in northern Italy. Here we're going to see three of the remaining apparatus finals. We've got vault, the parallel bars and the high bar. You can see there Great Britain's Luke Whitehouse, fresh from his win yesterday, retaining the floor European title. We've got Jake Jarman also going in this final as well. Sitting alongside me in the commentary box for you this afternoon is Christine Still and Craig Heap. So we're hopeful potentially for another medal here in this vault final. It's going to be a high flyer, this one, Chris.
It is, and really this is Jake Jarman's to fight out, really. He has the big start values. Luke Whitehouse, as he showed on floor, has excellent execution, hasn't quite got the same level of difficulty, but wow, he showed his mettle as a competitor yesterday.
So cool, so calm and so very collected, and things didn't really go to plan for Jake Jarman yesterday, so a lot to put right here, but you can see the lads just warming up, just going through the motions, getting themselves really in tune with that springboard and the table.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, it's a real tactical decision. This Arthur Davtjan is the one to watch. He did two. Well,
this lad is as well, to be fair.
One difficult vault and an easy one for the qualification just to get into this final.
Yeah.
Radivillov there, but he's got two very big vaults, the double pike Yurchenko, the double front with the half out. It can be a bit temperamental, and as we know, if you're in the vault final, Dominic Cunningham's in there as well. You get two vaults on your feet, you're in the mix.
So here are the finalists for the vault. Two Brits will be flying high in this final with Luke Whitehouse and Jake Jarman. Jake is the current world champion and former European champion, so can he win back the title that he took in 2022 from the reigning champion Arthur Davtjan? The Ukrainians will be strong in this final with world, Olympic and European medalist Radivillov and Ukrainian Nazar Shaponi as the highest qualifier. Great to see Dominic Cunningham in this final too, competing for Ireland. The former GB gymnast was a floor European champion, so if he hits, could well make his mark in this final. Great Britain's Luke Whitehouse just chalking up there. Just waiting for everything to get set. It's the first of the three finals this afternoon. So, Great Britain's Luke Whitehouse will start this men's vault final. Came here as a stand-in for Max Whitlock, and my goodness, has he made his mark. Gold on floor yesterday, retaining that title. 21 years old. And my word, as the young Brit really got people talking here at these European Championships. So the first of two vaults, they both have to be different. He's going for a 5.6 for the first vault.
So 15.6 the maximum he can score. Oh, and that, the second front somersault with half turn was very late, and he just didn't get the opportunity to put his feet down cleanly and just rolled out there.
Big vault, the Dragulescu double front somersault with the half turn. This is a favoured vault because generally the gymnast can spot the floor in the second somersault. You watch there. In fact, it's 2.5 somersaults, and he's not just fully round. It's a big vault. Again, 15 out of 15.6. He'll lose a full mark there. But great experience for this young gymnast. Absolutely,
and it's a real opportunity for the British team selectors to be seeing how well these gymnasts are coping. Luke's had a busy time of it of late, just coming from a World Cup competition as well, Chris.
Yes, he wasn't named for this team. Flew in straight from Doha, where he competed in the World Cup, and I saw him interviewed earlier today, where he certainly said he feels he's done a great job.
Second vault then for Luke. For an easier vault this time. This one 5.2 in the difficulty.
And the same good precise run. 2.5 twist off. Very good, very clean. There won't be many deductions attached to that vault.
Showing the same style and execution that he demonstrated on floor. Legs locked together.
Yeah, you just feel this was well within his capabilities, easily rounding the 2.5 twist. Judges will be picking up deductions when they take off from the springboard, looking at straight arms on top. He's lost a little bit of leg separation on the way on, but great spatial awareness. The 2.5 twist, a lot more time to land than the previous vault. Again, a great experience for this young lad from Leeds.
Yeah, it's easy to forget the sort of lack of international senior competition that Luke has seen. He's just a young lad at 21 years old. He'll be lapping all of this up.
He will, and he's shown himself to be able to handle the pressure. He retained his European title yesterday on the floor.
13.683 for Great Britain's Luke Whitehouse. Well, watch this lad here. Igor Raduvilov of Ukraine. He's 31 years old now. He's the second highest qualifier, but 8 European medals. He's been a 2-time European champion, 4 world medals to his name and an Olympic medal. He's got a lot in the locker, and you brace yourselves because he's about to demonstrate something pretty special here with a 5-6 to start with. The power, the focus.
Well, just look at this. Blocks in, sky high, and look at the difference there between the two vaults. He was a good couple of feet higher than Luke. He had plenty of time, wraps in, the double front somersault, almost a kick out for that landing. Superb vaulting, Matt.
I mean, it's just so beautiful through the air. Never in doubt with a kick out as well, Chris.
Yeah, I like that technique where they actually kick out and use the energy from the extension to make the half turn. Many of the gymnasts sort of roll the half turn, but that is a really technically excellent vault.
I mean, you know, let's play the judges here, Chris. Where do you deduct from in that?
They'll have a little bit for leg separation. It's not so apparent from this angle, but when you're looking at it end on, legs a little bit separated, but you wouldn't think that there would be masses of deductions there. It was powerful and strong.
Well, he had a 14.8 in qualification. It's got to be around that, probably 14.9. I sometimes think the judges feel like they have to take tenths away.
14.8 for vault number 1. Execution looked 9.2.
So they found 0.8 to deduct. Yes, yeah.
Well, he's going to opt for a vault that's just as difficult with the second one. Raduvilov here going all out for another European medal. He scored 14.833 for his second vault in qualification, so he's hoping for something just as impressive.
Well, this is a difficult one to land. The double pike suit wraps in. Oh, and that's exactly why. You see, the thing is with the double front half out, you really can spot the floor, and in that pike position, it is a very difficult somersault, the double pike to land. You see his hips are back, and there's absolutely no chance of pulling round from that. You can see the force on his face, and we've seen him do that numerous times. He'll be absolutely gutted with that.
Well, it really is all or nothing, this final.
Well, you have to really let go of the backs of your legs before the floor arrives. And you see he's still holding the backs of his legs here as he touches the floor. You have to have been able to let go and start to open the hip angle. And its hips, like you said, Craig, were just behind the feet. There was no saving it at all, was there?
No, it's a shame actually, because it is a fantastic vaulter, Matt, as you know, and he's such a powerful and explosive gymnast.
And he's been around for an age as well, at 31 years old now. And second vault there, 14, way down on what you would have expected. Even with that fall, though, he's in the lead.
Well, these guys just showing you how difficult these huge vaults are to land consistently.
Over to Artur Davtyan now, former world champion on this piece of apparatus. He's the current European champion. 31 years of age himself. This, you can see there the scoreboard in the bottom left of the screen, a 5.6. The difficulty. Add that to the perfect 10 of old, so this vault out of 15.6. Dav Chan going for another European title.
And flat out on this runway. Now that vault, you could see the knees locked together, kicks it out, meets the floor perfectly. That's as good a vault as you're ever going to see. Hits up into that double tuck front, half turn out. Wow, superb vaulting.
So high, look, out of shot.
And he was really good actually from the springboard. His legs were locked together. He really is a master of this vault. And you can see actually we've seen 3 people attempt this vault, and this is by far the best we've seen, just technically in the air. And he's got a really good second vault.
You can see, can't you, that he's finished the somersaults, kicked out, before he's back to the height of the platform. So then the rest is just preparing to land.
Yes.
It'd be interesting to see what vault he goes for as the second vault. He put in quite an easy vault in qualification, in his world anyway, a 4.8.
That's part of his game plan, though. I feel, you know,
Get into the final. 15.1 for the first vault. Absolutely huge. Oh, what a cushion he's given himself there. But how difficult will he go with this second vault? He's going to have to go some if he wants to retain his title. So there you have it, look, 5.6 he's going for. He's upped it by a long way from qualification at 4.8. So Dav Chan, with his eyes set on the gold medal. All eyes on him. Second vault.
And his less favoured vault, less practiced. Oh, fantastic.
Ooh.
He upped the twist, he added the extra half twist from qualification, and that's what gives you the extra tariff. But it was really quite a deep landing. He hung in the air, didn't he?
Yeah. Again, he went for the 2.5 twist. Look there. I mean, spatially superb in the air, but chest right down. He was going to nail the landing. That's what he was going for, precision. And again, Matt, is that high? He drifts out from the camera. Look at this.
But that deep landing, I mean, it won't be anything like a fall, but it will be quite a heavy deduction. But hey-ho, he's out of 15.6. He can afford to take a 0.3,
I think
0.5.
Yeah, with that, it'll be a 0.5. So he had a 13.7 for his second vault, but obviously it was 8/10 lower. So it'll score quite well, but he's certainly left the door open.
14.85 is the average. 14.6 for the second vault. So this will be an uncomfortable wait for Dav Chan. So it's the turn of current world champion Jake Jarman from Great Britain. 2 very, very difficult vaults. Former European champion. Look at this, look, a 6 difficulty for the first one. This will be the hardest vault that we've seen in this final. Going all out for a medal here in Rimini. Come on, Jake.
Big vault. Lots of twists. What's this? Wraps in. 3.5 twist. Well, that was superb. There will be a little 10 for stepping out and probably 3 for a big step. But wow, emphatic again.
I mean, he made this look easy. The execution with the difficulty is unbelievable, Chris.
It is, I mean, because he over-rotated it, didn't he? He had a big step forwards. When you're doing that amount of twists, and actually he's lovely and tidy in the air. We have sometimes said that he's not so tidy, but this was great vaulting.
I mean, the level of difficulty, you forgive him the step.
Off this vault, actually, it looks like he could get another half twist in, doesn't it? I mean, it was easily round. And I think sometimes in the past he might have undercooked it and sat down, but no mistake today. easily round. Going to get a big score for that.
Well, he and Davchan have fought it out many occasions, and he knows he's got to be at his absolute best.
15 scored for vault number 1. So 0.1 behind Davchan at this stage, but it's the average of the 2 vaults that count. Jake Jarman, 22 years old now. Here he is with his second vault, Commonwealth champion, current world champion. And no doubt he'll keep that difficulty well up there. Will he go for the 5-6?
It is. Be another big vault. Dragulescu on its way, double front with the half turn.
It's good.
Well,
It's good.
What about that? This is going to be close.
Absolutely fantastic stuff out there in Rimini. This is what it's all about. Come on, judges. Give him what he deserves.
I think of the average of the 2, Chris, that has it for me.
I think for me as well. It was a little bit of a longer vault, wasn't it? Not quite such a big kick out, but a good, solid landing.
And
Very clean.
I'm going to say the execution from the springboard as well. Knees locked together. Yeah, plenty of length. That's going to score well.
Very good direction as well.
Yeah, right down the middle. Huge block. This is going to be very, very close. 14.85 is the average score to beat.
And you could see the concentration and pressure. When we first saw Jake Jarman, he was young, full of smiles, skipping around. Now he knows what's at stake and he wants these titles.
There's still 4 more gymnasts to vault in this final. And some of them are very, very impressive. Jake Jarman in the lead, 14.83. 14.883 for Jake Jarman. He's in the lead at the moment, but there's still a long way to go in this men's vault final. So a little warm-up then for the 4 gymnasts that are left to go. Chaponi just warming up there. He's in with a shout as well, that's for sure. He's actually the highest qualifier, this gymnast here.
Well, he's going to have to go some because 2 5-6s, so unless this gymnast can up the difficulty, I mean, that's set the 1 and 2 out so far, is they've had a couple of big vaults, 6s. And Dominic Cunningham, well, great to see him in this final.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very tight indeed, this.
Well, I think what we've been able to see is those really experienced gymnasts have been able to up their game from qualification. The question is, will any of these others be able to match that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and probably, you know, Nazar, we haven't really seen much of him. It's a big stage for him. You know, 2 vaults he's got to get round, so it'd be interesting to see what vaults he opts for in the warm-up, because tend to have a bit more stability with the twisting vaults. Oh, and that looks like it's a double pike souk. I think that's a prep, and as we've seen Radivilov fall, unless it might be a prep for a triple twist, but...
honestly, Chaponi is quality. It really is.
Are you going for him, Matt?
I'm just saying he's quality.
Well, he took the bronze medal at the World Championships, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Behind the 2 gymnasts that are currently first and second.
Yeah.
And Dom Cunningham there.
Well, Dom's vaulting qualification, 2.5 twisting Yurchenko, he absolutely nailed it.
So I think we're all set then, ready to go for the second half of this men's vault final. 14.883 leads Jake Jarman ahead of 14.85 Davchan, and a 14 scored for Radivilov in third. Casimir Schmidt next to go, 28 years old and the 4th highest qualifier And he does have two very, very difficult vaults as well. He's going to post 2 5-6s potentially. And if he hits, honestly, this final can go anywhere. Casimir Schmidt for Netherlands.
Perfectly measured run. Oh, super twisting off the top, but the hands touched at the same time as the feet. And although it was only a light touch, it will be 1 whole mark deduction.
Yeah, such a shame. Big vault. I mean, these gymnasts really are going for it. It is a great vault final. Look at that, the 2.5 twist. He just didn't have the block. You know, what we saw from Davtyan. He's still twisting a little bit. That shoulders down a little bit.
Just couldn't quite get that rotation going, could he? And he had to bend in to try and tuck it round. And
yeah.
I guess at that point he knew that he hadn't quite got the air time to make the 2.5 twists easily, so he was trying to rescue it a little bit, but no, 1 whole mark off. So the 5-6 start becomes like a 4-6, doesn't it?
yeah.
Interesting, he used that like a pike extension to initiate the twist. I think probably slowed him down a little bit. You need a massive heel drive from the springboard.
13-2 then for the first vault. Well, he's gone for a 4-8. He's going to make it a lot easier this time round.
Yeah. Having fallen once, he won't want to do the same thing again. Still has to concentrate. Everything's difficult. Oh, no, they just put it up incorrectly. That was the 5-6. Handspring double front with half turn out. Nicely performed vault, actually. Sometimes the administrators had obviously put up an incorrect tariff for that.
Yeah, much better second vault. It's quite a common thing now, the double front with the half turn, named after the Romanian gymnast Marian Dragulescu. And actually, I think some of the gymnasts now are performing better than he did. Yeah. But I mean, to have a vault final with 4 gymnasts performing this skill.
This gymnast is extremely quick off his hands up into the double front. It almost, it looked like it accelerated. Look, you see him push and snap really strongly into the double front. That was what he didn't manage on his first vault so well.
Yeah, and he was just he had his shoulder down a little bit on both vault, which takes you to the side. But yeah, great to see the Dutch gymnast here in a vault final.
Casimir Schmidt then finishes with a 13.566. Luca Giubilini of Switzerland next up, 21 years old. His brother Matteo was in the pommel horse final. Their dad was an Olympic gymnast for Switzerland. Fine pedigree.
No pressure then.
Great gymnastics shoes to fill. Here he goes.
Well, it's a powerful approach. Oh, huge vault!
Dad would be proud of that one.
Wow! Yeah, he did really well to control the power there. Another double front with the half turn. He really did absorb that landing, Chris.
He did. It was really quite a deep landing. He got lots and lots of height. It was quite a long vault, and he only just kept his knees off the mat there where he bent. And in fact, I expected him to wince a little bit on taking such a deep landing, but he didn't appear to.
Well, he might do tomorrow morning when he gets out of bed, because it was a bit low, wasn't it?
Yeah, that vault you really, really want to block up, don't you? And it travelled a little bit longer than some of the others. But he really landed it well. He styled that out very well indeed.
he's going to go easy. He's going to go 5-2 with his second vault, but if he executes it as well as that, then he could be in with a shout. 14.366.
It was certainly worth digging deep for that score.
Yeah. Well, if he does a good second vault, he could go above Radivillov into third.
It'll be interesting to see how difficult he goes here, because he might have gone easy in qualification. He might up it. Come on, son.
Come on. Looks like it's a bigger score. Oh, what a shame that was.
Oh, man.
It'd gone up to a 5-6.
Yeah, huge.
Oh, my word, what a shame. That would have been fantastic if Luca could have just held that.
Sometimes you have to go for broke, and I guess in the final there's not much point in playing safe. He went for the big vault.
Yeah,
and
good lad.
Yeah, didn't quite have the flight to get all the way round.
Well, we're seeing a super vault final here. Everybody laying it on the line. Everybody wants to get their hands on that title.
Of course, and you know, what an experience for this young gymnast. First ever major vault final.
Brilliant.
You know, in this mix. It's just great. And actually, he'll take a lot from that. Just needs to give it a bit more oomph. And because I think he was just going for the perfect landing.
Yeah.
A bit too controlled.
13.516 for Luca Giubilini.
He'll certainly take a lot from being in this final with these great gymnasts. We'll see him again, I'm sure.
I'm sure we will. And looking forward to your return as well. Well, the gymnasts in the seat of the top three will be sitting very uncomfortably at the moment. Nazar Chapony of Ukraine has stood at the end of the vault runway, 21 years old. Got a bronze medal at the World Championships on vault. Brace yourselves.
Very dynamic, super technician. Just made that look so easy, didn't they?
Smooth.
It was really smooth, Matt. Just a little pace back to settle himself.
Yeah, but I mean, he took a little step back as if he was just doing a handspring half turn there, didn't he?
Well, I think that's about a 14.7-ish to what we've seen. 14.7, 14.8, I'm reckoning. Just a little bit knee separation on the way on for me.
A tiny bit early on the tuck as well, I think. You could lose him because he goes out of the picture. But if there's any hint of tucking the legs before you leave the platform, that's another of the judges' favourite deductions.
Well, Jake Jarman is sitting in the lead with 14.883 as the average.
And this gymnast has 2 vaults scored out of 15.6.
So how kind will the judges be with vault number 1? 14.733. 9.133 on the execution. But again, he's going very, very difficult with a 5.6 for the second vault.
And the drum roll begins. Different vault this time. Oh, beautifully performed. Very, very cleanly round triple twist. Very clean.
Well, his teammate Radivillov is in third with a score of 14 at the moment.
Well, I think it'll go above Radivillov. It was great in the air, easily around on the triple twist. I think what's going to keep him at that top spot is the 4/10 difference between him and Jake. But I do think it'll be a podium finish. Will it just be good enough? I don't.
He was just a tiny bit off direction as well, wasn't he?
I'm gonna say third, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he'll drop in behind Dav Chan. Dav Chan's in there at 14.85.
Yeah, that's a big score.
Radivillov 14. One gymnast still to go in this vault final.
I like that vault very much, that triple twisting Sukahara. He makes it look very easy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he makes all his vaults look easy.
I mean, what a future. He's 21 years old. And, you know, when you look at Radivillov, who's 31, Davtyan 31 as well. 14.749 for Chapournis in third. Knocks Radivillov out of the seats and the top three. Jake Jarman still leads this competition on 14.883 with one gymnast left to go. Here we go then with Dominic Cunningham competing for Ireland. He's been a big part of Team GB over the years. This is fourth European vault final. Come on, Dom.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. Wraps in the Yurchenko. Oh, what about that? 2.5 twist. Well done, Dom.
He did well to get that round. Good lad.
He did well to stay on his feet, didn't he? His weight was a little bit back behind his body on that landing. But he's, as we said earlier about the other gymnast, he started out magnificently. His blocks, he flips on, blocks up, and you can see he took a deep landing, but he did it so well and recovered it so well.
Such a difficult vault with that blind landing to see where the floor is.
He's got fantastic spatial awareness, as Dominic Ante, and I remember watching him become European champion on the floor in 2018 for Great Britain. Switched to Ireland now and doing a fantastic job. He's working the all-around. It's really given the opportunity to revive his gymnastics, you know, and it's great to see, you know, at 28, these gymnasts having longer careers. Yeah, fantastic, Dominic, well done.
And he's a great energy to have out there on the competition floor as well. Really gets the energy going.
He is. He's a real character in the gym, isn't he, Chris?
Yes, he is. He's always full of beans, full of enthusiasm.
14.133 for Dominic. Second vault then. When he opted for his 4.8 difficulty. Well, he raised the bar.
Different vault required. Oh, very solid. The double twist in the Sukahara, no problem at all. Well done, Dom.
Beautiful.
European vault finalists. Enjoy every moment.
Great for the Irish team as well. They took a gold medal yesterday. A vault finalist today. The double twist, he makes that vault look easy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The Sukahara entry, the half turn on or the quarter turn on, 2 twists off. See him plant that second hand and really block up into the air. But I don't think it's going to challenge for a medal.
.966 for Dominic Cunningham. Puts him in fifth. But what about that confirmation then that Great Britain's Jake Jarman is yet again European vault champion. He takes the gold ahead of Artur Davtyan from Armenia and Nazar Chapourny of Ukraine. He takes the bronze. What a moment for Jake Jarman.
Jake, of course, from the Great Huntington Gymnastic Club, home of Lewis Smith and Dan Keatings. Very much the trailblazers for the men's team these days.
There's his family, mum and dad, as proud as punch. World European champion, just needs the Olympic title now. He'll have the full set.
Well, to win a European title twice is no mean feat at all. There's confirmation that Jake Jarman is yet again the European vault champion ahead of Artur Davtyan of Armenia. And Nazar Chapourny of Ukraine, he takes the bronze. Luke Whitehouse of Great Britain finishes in 6th. just behind Dominic Cunningham of Ireland. What a vault final we were trekked to there.
Well, I think that's the same standings as the World Championships. So these guys are getting more and more consistent. The top three. Shame for Radivilov, that big second vault.
Well, there's Chaponi. He took the bronze and he did it with style.
I think he's one to watch for the future, very much so. Very strong, very powerful. And this championships out here, this is the senior Europeans, but going on around it, and this morning were the junior European men's championships, and Great Britain won the vault there as well. So a double vault championships.
I think we won on parallel bars as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the juniors have had a great competition.
Dav Chan took the silver. Current European champion. Lost his title to Jake Jarman here in Rimini.
And that was a rescued landing there, wasn't it? You know, he did very well. He got his feet down, but only just.
Well, that probably cost him the top spot, I would think. But I mean, the top three are competing vaults of the highest difficulty. I think in the Olympics, you'll have gymnasts with 2 vaults out of 16.
Yeah.
But here is that golden vault. Look at the style. The difficulty is absolutely huge.
The speed of twist is amazing. That's what's so unbelievable about Jake. He sets and just wraps, and to know when to come out.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Also, what's really impressive, he's a very small gymnast, but look at the distance from the vaulting table. I mean, the second vault, you need a bit more height, where the twisting one, it wants to be a bit, you need a bit more length on that. And he really does understand the block from the top of the platform. There, it just blocks and it goes straight up in the air.
I do think that vault is really tidy now. He was perfectly tight and straight when he left the top of the platform.
There's Luigi. I don't think he'll be vaulting with that outfit on, do you, Matt?
Well, we saw him have a go yesterday, actually. He did a nice little tuck on.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, little tuck on jump off.
What's the start value for that? Minus.
Well, what a vault final that was. It was, everybody laid everything on the line for that one. Oh, stand by. Craig, he's after you again.
So we're going to get a medal ceremony, and then parallel bars, James Hall. Come on, GB.
Yeah, in the absence of Joe Fraser, parallel bars are in the hands of the captain in his first parallel bar final at the European Championships. So again, something for the selectors to talk about. I'm sure they're thinking long and hard about Jake Jarman in his place for Paris, but he certainly cemented that. And it says a lot, doesn't it, about the gymnasts? You know, what they can do in the gym is one thing, but what they can actually do on the competition floor is quite another, whether or not they can handle that pressure.
Yeah. I mean, you get different types of gymnasts, some who look absolutely wonderful in training, and the adrenaline of competition hampers them, and others who the adrenaline of competition rises. Now, Jake Jarman is certainly one that rises with that excitement. I think his problem on floor is he does rise and he struggles to harness the landings, whereas on the vault, it's much more of your benefit to really feel that adrenaline rush and be able to use it.
And actually, I think it's quite interesting with the rise of Luke Whitehouse as well, in the way that he challenges Jake on floor. You know, Jake has often been seen as quite a standout performer on floor, and whether or not you've got that competition within the squad, but suddenly you've got someone that effectively can get a bigger score
it's
than
only
you.
competition that drives success. If Jake walks into the gym and is by far the best, then you just set back a little bit. Luke's pushing him all the way, and I think what's really good about Jake is he's been working on his pieces that aren't so good, bringing that level up as an all-round. I mean, he was 4th in the all-around. I mean, he's a surefire team player for Paris for me. He's got opportunity on the individual apparatus with floor and vault, and is a great all-rounder for the team. So if he stays fit, I would say after this he's cemented his place in that team.
I would say you're absolutely right with that, Craig.
Well, these lads gave everything for these medals out there. Bronze for Ukraine's Nazar Chaperny, 21 years old. And taking the silver medal for Armenia is Arta Davtyan. Just couldn't do enough to hang on to that European crown. Yeah, the former world champion steps up to receive the silver medal in the men's vault. But here is Great Britain's golden boy. After a couple of golden vaults, Jake Jarman steps up for the 2nd time to receive the European vault title. There he is, 21 years old, on top of Europe. European vault champion, Jake Jarman.
There is coach Ben Howells proudly taking photographs.
Too right, Ben, looking very emotional there. Means a great deal to win this title for a 2nd time. Shout out as well to Steve Davison, sitting with Jake's parents in the crowd. A lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, all sorts goes into these medals. But this is what it's all about, competing on that international stage. The difficulty level, the execution, everything, all out there on the floor in Rimini. Great Britain's Jake Jarman, European vault champion. World champion and now 2-time European champion on vault, Jake Jarman. So as the gymnasts have their photos taken and make way for the next gymnasts, because the parallel bar final will be up very, very shortly. And Great Britain's James Hall up next. Jake's like, what on earth am I meant to do with this?
Must be for the pool party afterwards or something.
Oh, dear me. So we've got P-bars and a high bar final in store for you this afternoon. Yeah, James Hall then in his first parallel bar final. The captain of the British team. And no Joe Fraser, sadly. Things didn't go very well for him at all, really, did they, in qualification in that all-round competition?
No, I think the problem is with Joe, he's been out a bit last year through injury. And as much as we talked about preparation in a gym, you can't replicate this competition experience. And I'm hoping that this little bit of setback will give him the determination to go back into the gym and work harder. It's quite hard to go and win a title and then go back to the gym and start training again, because you think, well, I'm the best there is. And he's sometimes it can be a bit of a blessing, and I do think the time he will be back for Paris, he'll be hungry.
Well, this is the interesting thing, Chris, because, you know, for some of these gymnasts, they've got to come here and they've got to try and bag a place for the Olympics. So they've got to be absolutely on song here. Whereas for others, when you think of the Olympics, which is, you know, over 90 days away, between 90 and 100 days, you know, peaking at that time, it's an interesting trajectory when you think of it like that, isn't it?
It is an interesting trajectory, and the selection policy is over the sort of last 18 months, and each of these gymnasts, both men and women, will have plotted their scores, and some of them already have in the bag scores that will take them there as long as they're fit. They've got proven track records. It's a bit more complicated with not everybody working every piece, and obviously somebody like Max has a proven track record, and as long as he's fit he will go. However, because he doesn't work all 6 pieces of apparatus, it makes the jigsaw puzzle of how to build the team partially around him a little bit different. Joe has been out really since the World Championships in Liverpool, and has come back very strong domestically. He won the English Championships and he won the British Championships, both of which were selection competitions for the Olympics. And I think, like Craig said, coming onto the international stage is just a bit of a different pressure. And obviously, like we said yesterday, that's the one thing training can't quite provide for you, that intense pressure. I think he will come back stronger as well.
But also, I mean, when you look at the British Championships, I mean, and you look at the level within the British team, it's almost like an international competition in itself. So to go out there and win the British all-round is no mean feat at all.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, we've got that standard of probably 6 to 10 gymnasts fighting for a team spot. And I think what will be interesting to see is we have got the team final of the men tomorrow, and be interesting to see what Joe does in that, to see, because it's not just about, you know, the sport is about the physical stuff, but you've got to have a mental state as well, mentally strong to compete and go out there. So, you know, it will have affected him. He will have took a bit of a knock, and he'll have to, you know, go deep down inside himself to say, right, you know, it's not a foregone conclusion. I'm part of that team now. I'm going to have to pull myself together and really show that I'm part of the team. So I think tomorrow will be significant for Joe in the team event. Yeah,
and it'll be significant for the selectors as well, whether they're going to give him that opportunity to put it right for himself, you know. It'll depend a bit how he's trained. If he's been training well and they just feel that was a blip, then they'll say, no, we trust you. Get back out there, do your P-bars, show everybody you can do it. And actually, that would be the absolute best thing for him, because if he doesn't do that, if they say, well, you didn't perform well, you know, 2 days ago, we think you're a little bit too up and down. Obviously, Great Britain didn't qualify top, they qualified second, so they'll be after improving. It'll depend quite a lot on the philosophy of the selectors.
And obviously tomorrow as well, we've got Courtney Tulloch, who worked it all around. So it'll be fascinating to see who they decide to put up, because it will be 3 up, 3 to count. So it'll be fascinating to work out which of the gymnasts they're going to choose as their 3 to go up and compete.
Well,
and how much Joe will have, you know, how much conversation there'll be amongst the team, how much it'll be down to them, how they're feeling. I mean, there's a lot might stick tomorrow.
I mean, Paul Hall is their head coach, and he's very much got, he's got a team of coaches around him, and the coaches will, give their verdict on what they think, who should work what pieces. But it'll also depend a little bit how Joe has coped.
Yeah, because there's a lot goes on in the back gym, and you just don't know how the gymnasts are coping with the travel. I mean, it's not that far, but, it's just being in a new gym, new apparatus. This is Spieth, which is a little bit different to what they're used to. And,
the equipment, yeah.
And you always have an off day. I mean, yes, there's 2 marks between Great Britain and Ukraine in the team, but to be honest, on paper, Great Britain should, be the best team there, but they have to perform.
Well, these are the gymnasts for the parallel bar final, the second of the 3 finals this afternoon. Saw the French gymnast Cameron de Bernard come out. This is Ilya Kovtun. He's the one to watch, that's for sure. Just an unbelievably difficult routine. If you're into your difficulty scores, this is the hardest routine of the entire championships. He's banging out a 6.9.
Well, surprising, Kovtun for me, I thought would have been a real challenge for the all-around, but I don't think it worked, all the apparatus.
No, I don't think he did he?
But he is the rising star of the Ukrainian team, and certainly with him doing the all-around and Vanayev, they're certainly getting back to where they used to be.
Tierno is out for Spain, following on from Japorny, who just dusted off his trainers from being up on the medal podium and chalk up the hands ready for the parallel bars.
Well, that's an interesting combination, because you tend not to have a vault and parallel bar specialist. It tends to be power, vault and rings, but he's a very slight build, which makes him a good frame for good parallel bar work.
Mario Macchiati of Italy, 6th highest qualifier. Well, what kind of a day will Marios Georgiou have? Incredibly well in the all-round, bagged himself a gold, Pomelos bronze. He's still smiling.
He's still smiling. Interestingly, they are in team final, Cyprus. So he's got a day's work to do tomorrow as well.
Well, Great Britain's James Hall is out. Captain of Great Britain. He keeps coming back. It's lovely to see him.
The Iceman returneth. I think he'll put in a good routine. I mean, he just hasn't got the highest difficulty in there, but he's okay. He qualified in 8th place. So for James, I think it's about putting together a solid routine in preparation for the team event tomorrow.
And of course, James was the gymnast who went in for Max with the injury. He was the reserve gymnast, and so he went into the team, and that gave Luke the opportunity to come and work as the reserve, as the individual.
Yeah, it's interesting how that all works out, because you have an individual and you have a team. So therefore, Luke Whitehouse, we were talking about the team performance tomorrow, he won't be able to be in the British team. I mean, it's quite hard to get your head around that, actually, that he is from Great Britain, but he's not in the team.
Yeah, it can get a bit confusing at times.
Anyway, we leave all that to the people who organise these things. Well, this is a final that's packed with difficulty. Bernard will be first up. He was the 4th highest qualifier. A bit longer the warm-up here, because the gymnasts have the ability to alter the bars for the width of their shoulders.
Lots of fettling of the bars, the choke to get the grip correct. Gymnasts performing skills above the rails and below. You see some very complex skills from the one bar as well. 10 most difficult elements added together. You're right there. Kovtun, a huge 6.9, and then I think the nearest one down 6.4. So he has a 5/10 advantage. So really, it's Kovtun's to throw away.
Ilya Kovtun is back then to retain his parallel bar European title. The Ukrainian was the highest qualifier ahead of the Swiss Noor Seifert. Another final for Marius Georgiou, who's riding high from all-around gold and pommel bronze. Also, Great Britain's James Hall has made his first European parallel bar final.
That will be significant for James, I think, to have made a parallel bar final, and will help his claim for a place.
Well, he does keep on coming back, James Hall. He's so dependable. When you have that sort of consistency with your performances, it's just so good to bank on that, isn't it, as a team?
Yeah.
Just a few more warm-ups left to go. Japani up next. Japani was actually the third highest qualifier.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that, 6.3. Yeah, 14.7, Seifert from Switzerland.
Ukraine have a great tradition on parallel bars, don't they?
Interesting, no Germans in the parallel bar final, and we often see they haven't done much in these championships so far. They're not in the team final.
No,
so
I was going to say that, not in the team final either, are they?
maybe their strategy is the Olympics.
That rise, though, of the Cypriot gymnasts, as we were saying, Chris, is it's quite something. I mean, they've sort of come from nowhere.
Well, we've seen a fair bit of them because they compete in the Commonwealth Games, don't they? And we've always thought how good they've looked at the Commonwealth and sort of been surprised they haven't figured a little more on the European stage. Well, I guess it's just working its way through now.
They have a couple of decent gymnasts, but I think that's the real difference. If you need a good team to do well, we have got the depth in Great Britain now of 10 gymnasts. I still don't think they have the depth in Cyprus. Yes, they're pushing into a team final, but we'll see. You've got to start somewhere.
The magic carrier bag full of chalk.
Bring your own chalk.
Well, everybody's chalk's got their personal texture, hasn't it?
Very important.
Don't want to chance it that the organisers will give you the right chalk.
Yeah, can't put all the hours of training in and then risk it on the wrong chalk. So, Cameron Lee Bernard, first up, the 25-year-old. That's the fourth highest qualifier. He's going for a 6-3 difficulty in this routine.
Oh, good strong start from the upper arm. Oh, just a bit of flicker in the legs there, a little bit short. No problem there, undershoot with the half turn. See, there's that little shuffle of the hand. Will be a 0.1, but that's good. Them are cuts, turning off the one bar. Oh, and just had to make that little bit of an adjustment. That's better. 1 1/4 back into the bars. Double front dismount, good, solid routine. Few little bits of niggles there, but
yeah, he's over the moon with that rescue, and it was a good save.
Yeah, very, very easy work, very easy work. It makes the whole thing look very easy. I just feel sometimes his body line is not quite so precise. The aim, once the gymnasts are in that handstand position, is to be like a straight line, fingers to toes.
And just aiming for a nice rhythm as well between the bars, a lovely flow to the routine. That's exactly what the judges are after. Cameron Lee Bernard, absolutely delighted with his performance.
Super high dismount, actually.
yeah, difficult as well. A lot up for the half turn out of that blind landing on the double front.
Well, it's interesting up there with one of the harder routines in the competition. Give yourself that cushion, don't you, when you've got that extra difficulty. A couple of tenths can be vital. Well, it's a 14.5, slightly down on his qualification score. 8-2 on the execution, that's where he lost it.
Yeah, you could definitely see where he lost a few tenths there.
And that's where if you can't press that absolute perfect handstand shape, each time you do it, the deductions just rack up a little bit.
Switzerland next to go. This is Noor Seifert, second highest qualifier.
Now there's that beautiful clean handstand line, back absolutely straight, but a little bend of the knees into the element. Good somersault, super straight arms. And very precise on those turns. Each time he goes back to that wonderful straight line, so he's going from a great position. Very leisurely. And now the flighted work. Change of tempo is beautiful. Super secure. We haven't seen any shuffling along the bar. Oops, and as I say that, he does just the smallest hand shuffle. But what a great dismount. Not a flicker was there.
Well, there were some beautiful body shapes throughout that routine. And as you say, Chris, the occasional 10th going awry.
But only the very occasional.
Yeah, he started a bit short for me on that first under somersault. But yeah, he had some great skills in there. Very controlled, very measured. Look, you can see the first one, it was just a little bit short. And then from this, the upper arm skill you need, this is one of the requirements, the front somersault. Just had to use a little bit of strength there to plunge it into the handstand. And this apparatus is all about the swing, the rhythm. That's the big skill there. Anything turning from one rail back down onto the bars is up a tenth. Fabulous dismount, double pike back. That should be enough to go into the lead.
14.5, the score to beat.
The absolute hours these gymnasts spend in handstand, homing that position on the bars.
I don't think he'd have lost anything on the difficulty from what he posted in qualification. 6.3, yep, given 6.3. And a 14.833 is the final score from Noor Seifert. Swiss leads the competition. So, to Ukraine. Ilya Kovtun with the hardest routine of the entire European Championships. There's a 6.9 difficulty. He's the current European champion, just 20 years old. Feels like he's been around for a long, long time. The youngster, such an incredible gymnast. Can Kovtun retain the title?
Well, he does work these bars with a real positivity. Oh, that's a very difficult start from the upper arm. Again, snaps up the half turn up into the handstand. Oh, to the one rail, he'll turn out of this into the Healy turn. Oh, he's going for the difficulty. Again, skill from the upper arm position. Gotta be fast with the hands. Another turn from the one bar. And again, this gymnast is just improving competition after competition on this piece of apparatus. Big dismount to finish, the double front somersault and nails it. Well, that was fantastic. That's got to be in the 15s. Nobody can touch that, surely. What a performance.
It was absolutely phenomenal. Every single hand placement was rock steady all the way to the dismount, and he nailed it. Phenomenal stuff.
He's always been a very calm character in competition, hasn't he? And he's so precise. As you say, every hand placement was there. Went for the big difficulty, but he can obviously do this big difficulty. Just a little bit of a bend of the arms to ensure the balance on the one rail, but it's so difficult.
I mean, the connections that he put in there as well, the floor that he had, and I mean, not a tenth to go on the dismount.
Well, if you look at this compared to the previous routines, he does a lot of skills from the one bar or from the upper arm, which raises the difficulty. This is why he's 5/10 in front of everybody else. I mean, it's going to be a big score for certain. It'll be into the 15s easily. Probably have the biggest score of the competition.
I mean, that was absolutely superb. A masterclass.
It was indeed, and when you think 6'9", he's sort of 0.6 up on the rest of the opposition in
the score hasn't
difficulty.
even come in yet. He's sitting down in the golden spot, look. Too right. 15.633. It's huge, and rightly so. Ilya Kovtun, you are a superstar. I mean, it was phenomenal. His teammates up now. Nazar Chaporny just got himself a bronze on vault. Nazar Chaporny now. Can he do on parallel bars? Was the third highest qualifier. Can he get a seat next to his teammate?
Well, such a different piece of apparatus to vault. All about control, this apparatus. That was a lovely start, super fluent. And excellent on the single rail with the Healy turnout. Oh, but we didn't have the right angle to be able to see that. He hopped to the one rail, and of course, if you haven't got your body weight above your hands, then you can't hold the balance, and he just bounced straight off. So he loses the value of that element. There we are, it just...
And that was an interesting skill, that, actually, because normally you would just change the direction, do an upstart and carry on the routine. So he's lost a full mark and back onto the bars.
Just not quite so pure in his handstand shape, a little bit arched through the back. But swings beautifully here. You can see the swing he can generate, the speed he can generate. Nice Healy turn. Here comes the big double front dismount, very secure. What a shame.
What a shame for Chaporny. So capable.
It was a shame, actually, because it was just a simple upstart required. If he'd have done an upstart on the rail back in, and again, this is what, you know, training is all about, the competition. Gymnasts have got really good at, you know, some gymnasts have a get-out clause if it doesn't go right, that they can do something. And that was a great skill there. Under somersault into the one bar, into the Healy out. He'd done the most difficult elements of the routine. But one thing's for sure, it'll probably never happen again, because, again, it's just a learning experience if that's never happened before. Shame, because he's a very stylish gymnast. And he'll be back for the team final.
Yeah. Toe-to-toe with Great Britain, no doubt.
Got an interesting choice of music at this competition.
Chaporny scores a 13.866. Fourth for him. So his teammate Covton leads the field on 15.633, a huge score. Noah Seifert in second with 14.833, and Cameron Lee Bernard of France on a 14.5, currently sitting in third.
So next 4 gymnasts get to have a touch of the apparatus. 30 seconds each. Interesting, Matt, that Italy weren't as strong in the team as they have at the previous Europeans, and whether they've, you know, got a different tactic for this event. You know, we're not seeing Germany favour like they have done, and maybe, you know, they're thinking we need to protect our gymnasts for the Olympics.
Yeah.
You know, each country will have their own tactics for certain.
Well, at the moment, a 14.5. Macchiati actually scored a 14.5, the Italian gymnast. He qualified down in 6th, but I mean, it would be quite some story if the Italian could find himself on the podium here, because the last time they were on the podium was 1971.
On the parallel bars.
Yeah.
Wow. Were you in that competition? I mean, you weren't even born in 71, Matt, but yeah, you're such a young'un. Interesting to see how Georgiou does on this piece of apparatus.
Well, Cyprus have never won a medal on parallel bars. They've never won a medal on pommels either, or in the all-round until he turned up.
There's Vanayev and the rest of the teammates. James Hall. I mean, James could push over a 14.5 if he has a great routine. I mean, it's all to play for.
Yeah. I mean, that is, you know, 14.5 is not unachievable for a bronze medal for any of the gymnasts that are to come.
And if you certainly, if he had a 14.5, James, the others have had a 6.3, he's a 6.1, so he'd take it on the execution. And we know James can be really good on the execution score.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling optimistic.
It's going to be an exciting round-up to this men's parallel bar final. Everyone's messaging everyone, get watching it.
How long ago was it since Spain had a medal on the parallel bars?
That was last year. Got
Yes.
bronze last year.
It was this guy, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Wow,
absolutely.
just checking your notes.
Yeah, Thierry Diano.
He's got a big start value, 6.4.
Yeah.
Yep, the second highest to Covton.
Got the sticky stuff on there. All the gymnasts have their own methods of chalking up the bars. Using the full length of the bars as well.
I had seen at some point a few gymnasts trying hand guards, like palm guards on parallel bars, but...
Well, yeah, it's an unsettling feeling when you're doing long swings.
Unbelievable.
I remember it well, that sort of, as soon as you get to that 22 position and you're hanging on there for dear life and you're hoping you're not going to ping.
Well, being in handstand and the coach is going, right, you've got to bail down from handstand. It's like being on the scariest roller coaster in the world.
100%.
And I mean, I remember the first time I tried it, and as I came through the bottom, my hands released and I went flying across the gym. I turned around and said to my coach, I ain't doing that again.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it is quite a scary feeling the first time you're going to bail from the handstand down into that long
Not just
swing.
the first time.
Yeah, every time.
Here we go. Especially when you're in competition, you're like, I'm not used to these bars. Anyway, on we go. Diallo took a bronze last year. What can he do here? 14.5 is the cut-off for the podium at the moment.
Well, he started very smoothly indeed. Oh, just rescued that, but he had to bend his elbows to do so. He'll have, again, just struggling to keep the shape. That's better. And this, of course, what you were talking about, the bail into the swing. The bail being like this, where you change shape and then fly up high. A little bit bent knees on that press to handstand. Oh, and a big hop back on the dismount. I don't think that's going to make the 14.5.
No, just a little raggy in parts.
Well, I think he struggled at the start with the under somersault to the one rail. That's where he should have done the turn out. So his difficulty will certainly be down. You might be able to see it in here. And he's a very light gymnast, and he does work this piece of apparatus well there. The front somersault and whips up to the handstand. But then, you know, when something goes wrong early on in the routine, it does unsettle you. He clanked the rail there as well. So that's a fall, you know, of the apparatus. That'll be a 5/10. A shame, because you can see why he medalled last year, because the routine has got the potential, but too many errors today, unfortunately.
Well, the Spanish team came third in qualification for the team final, so he'll be back out tomorrow, and no doubt his sights are set on what he can do for the team now.
It's quite a different dynamic having the team final on the last day of competition, because all the gymnasts have got to keep a little bit back. Usually the apparatus finals are their final hurrah, and it's quite different.
12.9 off the mark. Sadly, poor Diallo, he's in fifth as it stands.
5/9 on difficulty. He lost 5/10 there by not getting those combinations, so it can be costly.
Well, the door is open for Mario Macchiati. He qualified sixth with a score of 14.5, so he could tie here in that third place spot.
That was a lovely transition there from the one arm. Good extension. Judges looking for straight arms on these skills. Drifts nicely into the handstand. Oh, that's a lovely long swing full turn. Lovely flight there, the front somersault straight into handstand, very fluent. That's what the judges are looking for, the full turn in the Diamondov. Oh, well, what a shame. You can see. Oh, my word. It was so close to a medal-winning performance there.
What a shame. Oh, man.
Just overcooked that, the Diamondov 1 1/4.
He's distraught, isn't he? He really is. Yeah.
There you see, he did well to get his hand on. He couldn't pull that back in at all. Yeah.
Well, 1971 was the last time the Italians were on the parallel bar podium.
Well, they're not going to be today, are they?
Lovely high dismount, what a shame.
But they might be in the future, because that had loads of potential, that routine.
What a shame.
I think he knew then, you know, the medal was in his sights.
Yeah, for sure.
And the first start of the routine, the tricky bit, again, we've seen these gymnasts go through the most difficult part of the routine, and that was probably one of his easier skills. What a shame, Chris.
It's very easy to have got all your difficult stuff out the way and lose a little bit of concentration. You feel, I'm on my way. I think you see that on pommels ever such a lot. But he's got a great style.
He is. The way he just floats up into the handstand. You know, he's got a real finesse about his performance. Such a shame. Well, he'll be back for the team final, and I'm sure he'll do a better job tomorrow.
Very popular, the double front dismount. I've previous at the World Championships a lot more with the extra half turn, but here it's the double front has been the dismount of choice from the parallel bars, really, hasn't it?
I think you'll find the top ones will add a half turn on that.
13.3. Not a shame for the Italian.
Yeah, he lost 0.3 there on the difficulty, on the fall.
Well, 2 medals already from this championships. Can he add another?
Well, his opportunity. Scored a 14.633, only from a 5.8. So, again, you're looking at probably one of the best gymnasts in the arena on execution.
Marius Georgiou of Cyprus is chalked up and ready to go. Gold medalist from the all-round competition, bronze medalist from the pommel horse final. What's going to happen here? Can he win Cyprus's first ever parallel bar European medal?
Well, he starts with plenty of energy and zest, and a great handstand line. And that was easily performed straight into the Healy. Very precise with those hand movements.
Good.
Oh, yes, very good. It's a really measured performance, isn't
this
it?
This is great. Oh.
Just a couple of paces there.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, fantastic landing.
He's on the podium.
Look at the height on that dismount. By far the biggest double pipe back off the bars. And I'm just wondering, as he did previously, has he upped his difficulty for this final? Because that would be something superb.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was some tasty difficulty in there. The score to get onto the podium at the moment is 14.5. Silver is 14.833. That's a big ask. But the gold, I think, is out of reach, 15.633. James Hall is still to go here in this parallel bar final. But what does the short future hold for Marius Georgiou?
Well, he upped his difficulty on pommels, didn't he?
Significantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he did here. He had a bit of a close call on one of the turns from the one bar, the second one in the routine. But, wow, I've rarely seen a double pipe back as high as that. It was like he was flying from the high bar.
And he flares his arms out, doesn't he, to steady the landing. Beautiful technique.
Well, it's going to do well. It's better than qualification, I think. I think it'll go above 14.6.
Well, that was huge. And he knows it's good. He knows it's good.
What a clever manoeuvre, though, to up the difficulty and put on a different routine again.
Well, it's like he's
working.
got 2 styles of gymnastics. He's got his all-around style and then his individual app style.
Yeah.
And I like his style.
He's one of those gymnasts, when it's all going well, he's on top of the world. And then if it doesn't go right, he shows it everywhere.
Yeah.
But
Passion.
He's great. Passion, yeah, it's great to go with it.
Oh, it's 14.866. He's tying for silver.
No, he's in front.
He's in front, sorry, my mistake.
Yeah, because of his execution again.
He's in silver, look at that. Well done.
So he's guaranteed a medal.
Well, the captain of the British team now, James Hall, in his first European parallel bar final.
Lovely transition at the start. Locks those arms out solid into the backward long swing. Oh, lovely skill between the bars. Back somersault with the half turn, catching in the upper arm position. Oh, super stylish. Bags of confidence. Come on, James. Control well again from the one bar. needs a good dismount. Look at that, straddle front somersault, high above the rails. Come on. This is the big dismount we need. Double front somersault. Oh, what about that? Well, even if it's not a medal performance, that was sensational.
What a performance in this company, Chris.
Absolutely delighted for James. He's had a bit of an up and down year in competition, but that was him at his best, and really thrilled to see him perform so well.
Oh, that's how you do it. Well done. Leading by example as the captain.
He really was a very precise performance there.
Probably one of the best parallel bar routines we've seen him.
It was indeed, and very good variety of elements within the routine. Kept the momentum going throughout it. Now everybody's looking anxiously.
Well, he put in a 6-1 as far as difficulty is concerned in qualification. So he'll match Georgiou.
Well, I think he'll struggle to get in the top 3 as much as I would love him to. I think it's just a little bit out of his reach.
Well, 14.833 is the bronze medal position at the moment. Huge score.
Yeah, that's a big score.
Yeah. National coach Barry Colley done a real job with his team in the build-up to these championships.
But he's going to be round the mid-14s.
Got to be, yeah.
How high will it be? Because it's going to be mid-table, that's for sure, if not higher. 14.366, fifth for Great Britain's James Hall. 8.266 on the execution. But that man there, Ilya Kovtun, he retains the parallel bar European title. Marius Georgiou comes in and takes a silver. He's got the full set now. He's got a gold in the all-around, a silver here, and a bronze on the pommel horse. And Noor Seifert of Switzerland, third. Oh, the first ever medal for Cyprus from Marius Georgiou. He keeps on delivering.
Great result for Ukraine here.
That's the 9th gold medal for Ukraine on this piece of apparatus.
They've almost made it their own in Europe, haven't they?
Certainly in Europe. I mean, the rest of the world will be watching. They've got the great Chinese gymnast.
Confirmation that Ilya Kovtun is yet again the European parallel bar champion. Marius Georgiou takes Cyprus's first ever medal on parallel bars, and this one's a silver to add to his medal collection. Noor Seifert of Switzerland finishes in third. James Hall of Great Britain, fifth. Very respectable fifth as well.
I was going to say that's a great position. If you think that he qualified in 8th place and moved up, I mean, that's all you can do. If you're in an apparatus final, you're qualifying down in 8th place. What you're looking for is to put forward a good routine and try and sneak up a few rankings. So that was a great performance by James. It'd be great for his confidence as well.
Oh, a chance to look back at the medalists. Noor Seifert took the bronze. This is 6-3 difficulty. Lovely body shapes in here. Super dismount.
Actually, I think, Matt, and Chris, this is probably the biggest win of the championships for so far. 8-10s pretty much between first and second place. I mean, that was an emphatic performance by Kovtun. And I certainly want to be sending a message to the rest of the world. There are some good parallel bar workers out there, and you know, some out there worthy of a 16. So, but this young man, he's really understanding the game, isn't he? He's got 2 sets of routines in his locker, one for the all-around, and then he can have the ability to up it a couple of tenths, you know, and take these medals.
Well, I mean, what does that say about his all-round bid as well when he gets to the Olympics, because he's bagged himself a place there now. So he works for another 90 days or so, and then on the consistency of these tougher routines, and slot that into the all-round when if he's in contention.
Well, yeah.
I think he's a top 10 in the world gymnast. Even at that performance, you need to be getting up towards 88. I think the top guys will be doing that, but certainly to be a top 10 finish at the Olympics for Cyprus would be a phenomenal achievement.
Yeah, but I mean, a class of his own, Covton.
Yes, when you see it back like this after having watched the others, it really is, isn't it?
It's just rock solid.
I'd be interested to see his all-round performance now. You know, obviously he's not done all-around here, and what the reasoning behind that, because I think he's going to put in a good performance in the Olympic Games in the all-round competition.
Well, he always has, of course, hasn't he? He's been there or thereabouts at the Olympic Games.
I can't wait to see him in Paris.
Yeah. And again, it's very tactical, this championships, don't you think, guys, about looking after the gymnasts, keeping them fit, but just doing enough. Yes, it's important for countries like Ukraine to pick up a gold medal, you know, to keep the funding going, but you don't want to exhaust the gymnasts, because the potential is we've set sights on an Olympic medal. I mean, that does a lot for a country's funding.
I think, though, you know, in a sport that's judged, it's always important to be viewed as one of the contenders. And Ukraine has not been a country that's been a contender for the last few years. They've qualified for Paris, but in the last spot. And if the performance they've given here will be significant in the way that people view them going into Paris.
Yeah, I mean, the last all-rounder they had was for Naev, you know, who took the silver at the Olympic Games. Well, he's back now, part of that team. And, you know, I mean, for somebody like Covton to be mentored and in the gym with somebody like Vanayev, it's obviously rubbing off.
Yeah, and then you've got Chaporny, who's coming through and really pushing him as well. And, you know, and then the other Ukrainian gymnast that can put in a real strong bid, like Radivillov on vault and what have you. I mean, that team final tomorrow is going to be toe-to-toe.
Oh, yeah.
Will be. They've got a good smattering of people, haven't they? They've got one or two really excellent on most pieces. Probably floor is one of their not quite so strong pieces.
Well, out come the lads to receive their parallel bar medals. I mean, Marius Georgiou's in the high bar final as well.
He's exciting on the high bar as well, isn't he?
He is. Yeah,
very.
Absolutely. Well,
I mean, it'd be interesting.
He was European champion a couple of years ago.
Well, he's probably got a new routine. He's done a 5.9. He's probably going to put a 6.4 in. And he qualified in 3rd place.
Noah Seifert of Switzerland took the bronze parallel bars. But honestly, this lad is making all of the headlines out in Rimini. There's Marius Georgiou, who stands on the medal podium yet again. Medal number 3 for him. Gold all round. Bronze pommel horse and silver on parallel bars, with another final still to come. But the gymnast was quite literally streets ahead of the rest of Europe on parallel bars. It was a joy to watch him. It was packed with difficulty and matched with execution. Ilya Covton wins the European title again, retains that title in super style. What a way he did it. Well deserved of the gold medal. Still just 20 years old.
Yes, we saw him at the Olympics. Really very young gymnast, wasn't he?
And very tall, and so sort of growing into himself. And when you do skills of such difficulty, such high level, you know, rotation, all of that, and getting used to the growing spurts at that age is, you know, a lot to contend with.
Yeah, and I did think this time round, gosh, he's, you know, he obviously grew young, and now he's not so much taller than all the others, and he's filled out. And I reckon he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in Paris, not just on P-bars. His coach.
Ilya Kovten retains the European parallel bar European title, and it must mean a great deal to hear his national anthem ringing out from Rimini there. Outstanding, absolutely outstanding. So there are two of the three individual apparatus finals of this afternoon. One more to go, and that's the high fly and high bar. As the confetti rains down yet again on Marion Shawshoe. Yes, give him back. Give it back, Kovten. Everyone's been finding the best ways to get rid of that.
Quickly off to get changed or put the new handguards on, ready for high bar.
Interesting, guys, about Georgiou's earrings, actually. I mean, we've been having a chat about it, and, you know, wonder what people think about, you know, the safety aspect of being able to wear earrings in the gym. I mean, we don't allow it, you know, in eye clubs. And, it, you know, you always wonder about, ooh, if he just caught them on something, could have a bit of a nasty accident. I mean, what do you guys think, seeing as we're chatting about loads of things? Chris?
Well, I don't wear them for that reason.
When was the last time you were swinging around a set of parallel bars?
Actually, earlier on in the office with Beth. Chris?
Well, in Britain, we're told that the insurance companies won't pay out if someone has an injury while they're wearing earrings. So in gyms all around Great Britain, nobody wears earrings, probably not even the coaches. But, well, everybody's choice is their own, and if your country's not affected by those insurance thoughts, I would have thought they were a little. I wouldn't fancy myself swinging around the bars with a dangly
but I mean,
earrings.
you just sort of don't want to be put off by anything, do you? Because do you remember? I mean, I'm trying to think back to what competition it was where the gymnast on the beam, a ribbon came out of her hair,
that's right,
and then wrapped round her legs.
Yes, it was World Championships, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you just sort of think to yourself, the less distractions, the better, really.
Better, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're quite obvious, you know, the danglies, you
Yes,
know.
yeah.
See quite a lot of them out in Newcastle, to be fair, but yeah, interesting, because when we go back to the gym, no doubt, you know, you will say to the kids in our gym, you have to take your earrings out. Well, they'll be going, well, he doesn't, does he? You know, and he's European champion, so interesting one. But you're right, each to their own.
Well, there's no GB gymnast in the high bar final. Sadly, none was successful in qualification. However, there are some unbelievable gymnasts. It's littered with world, Olympic, European medalists. And the difficulty level will be off the charts here. They'll be making full use of the dome that you can see there in the arena, as they'll be flying high. They'll be up in the rafters.
Well, I wonder if Koftan can pick up a second gold.
Yeah, actually, two gymnasts from that last final are in this one here. So Koftan's in there, Georgiou's in there. Actually, Aberdeen's going to be in. He was a gymnast who got a bronze medal in the all-round competition. Tin Sjöbeck as well. But I tell you what, obviously we're at the European Championship, so you expect the level to be incredibly high. But what we've been witnessing over the last few days has been a fine quality of gymnastics.
Well, I think obviously this is the final warm-up for Paris, and gymnasts very much work in a 4-year cycle, so they will be peaking. Everybody will be peaking for Paris. Probably quite a lot of the teams haven't made their final selections, so within the teams everybody's going to be fighting for their spots. So, you know, certainly this year is a very difficult year to win medals because everyone's at their best.
Yeah.
We all know that the year after the Olympics, when many people have retired, and there's the opportunity then to make your name in the next cycle. But yeah, they're at their best.
Yeah, well, Beth Tweddle has joined us as well. Beth, we're just picking up on the quality of the gymnastics that we've seen in these individual apparatus finals, and really everybody's been pushing each other, haven't they?
They are, and it's the opportunity to, we've seen Giorgio, he's been upping his difficulty going into finals. It's an opportunity to try the routines out in competition. As much as you can do it in training, I think Christine's alluded to it a couple of times, you cannot fully replicate that pressure of standing up there in front of a full stadium, in front of the judges, and on that moment performing. So it's a great opportunity during the European finals to have that last chance prior to the Olympics. Your qualification spot isn't riding on it, and again it's kind of showing to the selectors in your country, this is me putting my mark down.
And the Italians, I mean, they've got this stadium in Rimini rocking, haven't they? There seems to be a good vibe around this competition.
Yeah, I think gymnastics as a whole have really changed the outlook on every competition that happens now. They try to make it more of a show. They're trying to make it not just a gymnastics performance, trying to make our sport more
enjoyable to go
watch
from the spectator's perspective. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I mean, we've had a bit of a laugh at some of the music and all of that, but you know, it's all part of it, isn't it? If you can get everybody clapping and cheering.
I think we have to change, the sport has to change with the times, and actually now sporting events are a day out for the family. You've got to entertain the kids at these events. You know, you've got to have a mascot, you've got to get everybody involved, because actually the more people there are at these events, it's a better experience for the gymnasts. They perform at a better level.
Yeah.
And you know, so I think they're doing a great job.
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to get your opinion on this, Beth, about the level of music, because there was a drum roll in the vault as they ran up to the put. I mean, is that a bit too far? I don't know.
I think as a gymnast, as soon as you present, you go into such a kind of tunnel focus. You don't really hear what's going on around you now. But during training, if they'd kind of heard that, I hope they heard it prior to actually doing it, in case anyone. But I think yesterday when people were falling, they were kind of putting
another one bites the dust.
Yeah. Which is a bit different. I'm not sure as an athlete you really want that.
Bit different, that's the course.
Well, it's an incentive to stay on the apparatus, and you don't want the music coming on. Another one bites the dust. Not for you, thanks.
Well, I mean, to be fair, a lot of these gymnasts are sharing all sorts on social media these days, and they're relishing in the challenge of trying to do a lot of these moves. So, you know, maybe they're buying into that. Cofton's back, look, with hand guards almost ready. Time to refocus and go again. But he doesn't look like he's celebrating that parallel bar medal too much at the moment. Looks very much in the zone here. And Beth, we were just commenting on how much he's sort of grown into himself and what a stylish style act he is. And this lad here as well.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these gymnasts, we've seen them come through from the junior ranks. And we were talking about it with Reese yesterday, how you do mature into that. Making that jump from junior to senior, it is quite a leap. You think, oh, it's just another year and just another competition. But the expectation, the pressure it is very different when you go into a senior event. But the great thing with our sport now is gymnasts are continuing their careers longer, they're getting more opportunities, and if it doesn't happen on that day, actually, you've got time to come back and try again.
Yeah, when you're a junior, you only really compete within people of the same age of you. You know, it's a 2-year window.
Yeah.
You then go into the senior ranks and you might be 18 and you might be competing against somebody who's 30. So there's a lot of gymnasts. It's quite a different emotion to it, isn't it?
Perfect opportunity as well, and a good example of exactly that. This 22-year-old Yumin Aberdini, he took the bronze medal in the all-around competition. Up against a 29-year-old. There's 2 29-year-olds in this final, actually.
However, interestingly, probably the youngest one, Cofton, is one of the most experienced.
Yeah, true. Well, Cofton will be the 4th gymnast up. He is the highest qualifier, but a bit of time to gather his thoughts after everything he encountered on parallel bars. So a bit of a warm-up here then for the lads that have been doing a bit of swinging around the warm-up gym. Just a word on that, actually, Beth. In the warm-up gym, how similar is that feel? How much do you do? How much do you prep for these individual finals, sort of backstage, if you like?
I think it has changed probably over the past couple of years. The individual gymnasts are now getting the warm-up back on the podium, whereas prior to that, you had to walk from the back gym, walk straight out there and perform. So actually gymnasts will probably be doing more in the back gym to be ready, whereas the apparatus will feel slightly different. I don't know at this event, I've not seen the training halls. Sometimes they're not even on a podium, so actually the podium can make a difference, whether it's to the floor or the bars. It can feel different. So introducing the warm-up back to the gymnasts is obviously making it safer, but will also affect how they warm up in the back gym. They do get the big warm-up in the main hall prior to the competition.
So say like you're in a final at, well, it's 5:15 here, but 6:15 out there. What time would you sort of be turning up, and how would your day sort of pan out?
So when we were competing, say the finals as a whole started at 3, you usually were allowed onto the main podium until about 2:30. And then depending what apparatus you were on, if you were first up, then you kind of kept warm. If you were kind of on the 3rd apparatus, as these guys are, they probably would have just totally cooled down. They would have switched off. They would have, I don't know, listened to music, read a book, do something that's probably nothing related to the what they're doing later on. And then maybe half an hour, 40 minutes before they were due to walk back out, they will have started their warm-up again. So you're almost having to do everything you've already done a couple of hours earlier.
Yeah.
Every gymnast prepares very differently as well. Some like to keep ticking over. Sometimes you walk into the training gym and people are literally fast asleep.
You weren't one of them, though, were you,
I definitely wasn't one of them.
Well, this is a final full of world, European and Olympic medalists. Ilya Cofton will be amongst the high flyers here. Again, the highest qualifier, but the current European champion, Tin Sjöbeck, will have something to say about that. Another final for Marius Georgiou, who's certainly flying high, and he's having a super European Championships.
Well, interesting, we're talking about the longevity of gymnastics now. The senior, well, we've got the adults going to the Masters in June out in Boston for the first time ever, representing Great Britain. So, you know, the career of these gymnasts are lasting long into retirement now. Matt, do you fancy joining the Masters team? What do you reckon?
It's me back.
It's your back?
Oh, it's me back, yeah.
Well, I've got too many blisters. Unfortunately, but maybe we can cheer them on from the sidelines. We could be the cheerleading squad.
Listen, I'll bring the chalk. Very important job.
Yeah, well, good luck to those guys heading out to Boston later this year.
On we go then with the men's high bar final. Noah Seifert first up.
And very nice opening series there. Squat dislocation with half turn into a somersault over the bar. Here we go again. Double straight over. That's his second big release. Has to do the close bar work as well. Here it is. Swinging close to the bar. Very nice combination of elements there. This is, again, a piece of apparatus where you need to have a great handstand shape at the top of the bar. You have to swing in different grips. He was in an inverted grip and then a forward grip. Now, this is your regular backward grip. And he winds up into the dismount. And what a fantastic triple back dismount. That was some special routine.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Well done. That man packed with difficulty right to the finish. Crowd pleasing triple back.
Yeah, well, it certainly had lots of flair and extension throughout the routine. He really does work the bar well, and he zips off the bar. Look at the height of that. If anything, the judges would look for a full extension before the recatch. And also they'll deduct if you're a bit too close to the bar, but the intricate inverted grip. You don't see many triple back dismounts. You really got to know where you are, but he's certainly got that. Look, winds up. 1, 2, 3. Nearly 3 somersaults over the height of the bar. Plenty of time to come out for the landing.
We don't see those tremendously often. They're quite difficult to land, aren't they, Craig?
Yeah, good solid routine. So he qualified down in 8th place, so he'll be wanting to try and creep up a little bit. But I like that routine.
He's got a high difficulty score. He qualified with a 6. Only one person higher with a 6.1.
I'm wondering if I had a slight error in qualification.
That'll post a good score, I would have thought. Well, he certainly was very efficient on parallel bars as well.
.266 for Noah Seifert. What a start to this high bar final.
No, you're right, Chris. It was a bit better than qualification.
On we go with the current European champion here. Former world champion and Olympic medalist. A 27-year-old Croatian, Tin Cvrbic. He was the 5th highest qualifier, but don't let that fool you. This will be packed with difficulty.
Posted a 5.7 in qualification. It's just a little bit late. The gymnasts have really got to get into handstand, but that was superb in the flight there. Stoled it into the Katchev, straddle Katchev, linking the skills together. Winding up now, there's another big release. Kovacs with the full twist. Gymnasts have to show the long swing in a different direction. Oh, that was better. More into the handstand. Winds up, kicks in. Full twist in, double back straight. He was a bit close to the bar, but...
That's going to challenge.
Yeah. Great routine. Lots of originality with that in-ball work into the releases.
Wow. Chin Sherbek. He's
Doesn't look
shaking
so
his head.
happy, does
No,
he?
something went wrong there.
Well,
I mean, it looked good.
I was going to say it looked a pretty good routine. The first couple of elements were not quite as crisp as could be, but he built his difficulty very nicely indeed. There's the Stolder into the straight Kachev. He lays it out so well at the end, meaning that he can go into the next element. There's the full twisting back somersault over the bar to regrasp. Hop full turn. Like you say, Craig, good variety of elements. Sometimes you see very much one-sided selection of elements, but this is a good selection and a lovely, stylish, full twisting double straight dismount.
Well, his toes were a bit close to the bar for my liking, Chris. I don't look. He was. Whoa. Yeah. But he certainly didn't look happy about that. I think that one of the turns early was way past the handstand.
He had a little moment in the middle, but maybe he had something else up his sleeve that he was going to try and have a go for.
Well,
maybe a connection. Or
there's nothing up his sleeves, Matt. He's got a lace.
Yeah, he does look a little dejected.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like you're right. Maybe he was wanting to put something more difficult in.
Maybe I think he was world champion back in 2017 and to still be in the mix now. But I don't think it was as sharp as we've seen him in the past. Look, you see,
he got a silver at the last Olympics. Unbelievable.
Certainly giving the judges something to think about, aren't they?
But he scored a 14.333 in qualification.
From a 5.7, so that was quite a good score. High bar's very difficult apparatus to get scores.
He's down on that score, 14.066. His hunch was correct. Not enough to go into the lead.
Down 0.2 as well on the difficulty.
Well, Noor Seifert leads on 14.266. Joel Plata, a 26-year-old from Spain. He was the 4th highest qualifier. He was a bronze medalist here at the European Championships 2 years ago.
Spain, a team who did well in the team competition, in the team qualification. Oh, that was a nice full turn out of the squat dislocation. And there the half turn, just a little split of the legs, but that's the, I was going to say that's the important combination, but he carried it on excellently. And now with the full twist in the straight position. Change of shape, and the Kachev comes in, the straight Kachev over the bar. You can see how the body changes shape depending on what they're going to do. Another Kachev. Here's the close elements. Bit short of the handstand on that one. Here we go, into the high dismount, the double straight with full twist. Travelled further, this one.
Yeah, well, I think he wins Rescue of the Championship so far.
I think so. One-armed catch, an unintentional one-armed catch.
Well, it was a bit hairy in places, that, Christine. I nearly did a back somersault off the chair then. He did so well to hang on. The routine's got bags of potential. Huge variety as well as skills. I really like that, not just favouring the one release and catch. You know, the intricate one arm at the start, the full twist. He had a really good squat dislocate with a full turn. And actually, to regain his composure after a bit of a scary skill there, I mean, testament to the strength of character of this gymnast. Look, his hand came off and then back on. Well,
gets a one-arm long swing for that one.
One-arm long swing.
Connection.
He did really well, actually, didn't he?
I don't know what's in his choke bag. Super glue, I think. I mean, unfortunately, he will be hammered by the judges.
You can see the dowel that goes over the bar, and that the other one just didn't go over, did it? He tried for all he was worth to grip on with his fingernails.
Unbelievable.
He must have listened to you, because that was a long, long double straight with full twist.
He probably saw Tin Subic before and thought that's a bit close.
Yeah.
I mean, you see quite a few gymnasts hold on a bit too long, smack the bar, and then end up on the head. So, you know, it is all about getting the timing of the apparatus right.
Joel Platter scores a 13.366 in behind Tin Subic. Seifert still leads on a 14.266.
So I guess that would have been a 1 mark deduction for a fall on the apparatus, even though he rescued it.
Yeah, and down a bit on start value as well. Oh, probably 5/10, Chris, I think.
Ilya Kovtun, now the 20-year-old, steps up to high bar. Bronze on high bar last year. Can he get himself a medal here?
Well, he warmed up with such confidence. Got real flair on this apparatus. Oh, lovely full turn from the squat dislocate. In the half turn into handstand. Needs some release and catch. Here we go, here's the first one. Lovely height. Full twist in the tuck position. Change of shape now and dynamic. Straight Katchev, straddle Katchev. Pike Katchev, he's just keeping going. Look at this. He's a dismount away from another gold medal, maybe. Double twisted. Oh, my, what
yes!
a routine!
Absolutely superb. He was flying high in that routine all the way through, building the difficulty, smashing the execution. He's got to go into the lead.
He looked so secure, didn't he? He really didn't look like he was likely to put a foot wrong.
Absolutely magnificent from the beginning.
Well, you know, I think the biggest change in this gymnast is we've seen over the years is his confidence of being able to bang out the routines. He went through his parallel bar routine with such confidence. Same on the high bar. A very worthy performance there for me. The rest are going to have to go some out.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's only 20, but he has got great experience. We saw him at the last Olympics, and we've seen him have his good and bad days, and he's obviously grown and really become a confident performer. I think he'll be a challenge for Paris.
And you know what, Christine? I think this sends a message out to all the kids training in gyms all over the world. You've got to go through that period of failure before you can get to this real success. And he's really shown that. I mean, phenomenal dismount as well.
It goes without saying the difficulties that he's had, you know, over the last few years, training in a different gym. He's away from home. I mean, goodness me, the celebration there means so much. What a fine display. 14.6. Kovtun is in the lead. Matches his qualification score, which made him the highest qualifier.
Mr. Consistent. Next 4 gymnasts are up. I mean, there's one potentially to challenge Torgal at a 14.5, but and then Georgiou's up.
Listen,
I mean, what's he going to do?
Do not discount Georgiou. Not at these championships, anyway.
Well, I think he's got a taste for the medals, hasn't he?
He has indeed, and he's got plenty of belief.
Yes. This is quite good music, actually, the wind up for the high bar. Isn't it? Da-dun, da-dun. You've got to try and keep in check with the music.
Well, looking at these medals at the moment, we're only halfway through the final. However, 14.066 is the bronze medal spot. all of the gymnasts that are to come can beat that. So these medals could go anywhere.
Yeah, 14.5, Georgiou.
Still got the earrings on.
Well, he'll be getting himself a new set when he goes back. He'd probably have like gold medals on each side.
Nice.
They're obviously his lucky earrings.
Lucky earrings.
Don't take them off.
No.
You know what I mean? Just leave them on. So on we go with this incredible high bar final. Marius Georgiou, building his medal collection, is up next. He's the third highest qualifier. 14.5 was what he posted in qualification, and he was the European champion 2 years ago on this piece of apparatus. He's more than capable of getting another medal here.
So he's swinging in his forward grip. That was very nice. The full turn, then the half turn. Building for something big here. Full twist straight. Catch. And in the tuck, and he caught both times so well. Not interrupting the swing at all. Lovely close bar elements. Very smooth in all his turns. And there's an intentional one-arm swing. Here it comes, the big dismount. Just a little hop. The double straight with full twist.
Well, has he landed on another medal?
I think so. It looks good for second to me. I mean, he had such height and flight on the releases, and the judges are looking for a catch at full arm extension. I was flickering a bit in my chair then after that first one, because I thought, whoa, that's a full stretch. But yeah.
The question is, has he gone better than what he did in qualification? And the 14.5. Cofton's out there with a 14.6 in the lead.
Well, it's the same start score, unless he's gone up of a 5.9. Well, is it going to be enough? I mean, this could really upset the apple cart. I think that just the hop on that dismount will have cost him.
And he didn't sort of celebrate as he landed. He was a bit cross about the hop, wasn't he?
The rest of the routine, though, was faultless. See, it just drifted a little bit.
He's just such a naturally stylish gymnast, isn't he? Even when he bails, some of them bend their legs, but he's always tight.
Well, he's just enjoying himself, isn't he? You know, we've seen this in the past. When the gymnasts enjoy the competition and the performance, they just seem to thrive and get better and better.
I mean, he won the European Championship back in 22, and that was Cyprus's first ever high bar medal. So this lad's just writing his name all over the history books. I wonder if Cofton knows he's got lipstick on his neck.
Well, it might be a new tattoo.
14.366, second for now for Marius Georgiou. 3 gymnasts still to go in this final. On to the second highest qualifier, Lithuanian Robert Svorgal, 29 years old. He's been up on the medal podium a couple of times at the European high bar final.
Well, he started well. Good clean lines. Oh, a lovely height there on the straight Katchev. Into the in-bar. Steinemann swing. Gymnasts have to show different grips around the piece of apparatus as well as the release and catch move. Lovely height, the straddle Katchev, the pike Katchev. Full twisting, double straight dismount. Well, he went for execution.
It was very efficient, that routine. It was packed. I mean, it was very, very compact, actually, wasn't it, Chris? And he was the champion back in 2021, so not giving the judges much there.
No, he packed every swing had an element in it. You didn't have these lots of long swings just winding up, and that really does build the difficulty, because if you put the two difficult elements immediately after each other, then you get the bonus marks. And this angle with the bar, you can see how much you use the bar. It dips and then catapults you up. This is what you call feeling the timing of the bar. If you make your effort just as the bar is rising, it bounces you up. So there's the straddle, then the pike.
I mean, he does re-catch before he's got to horizontal. I mean, the height on that, you know, when we talk about good execution of skills, that's what we're talking about. The turns need to be as close to handstand as possible. You get a little tolerance within 5-10 degrees. Imagine like a clock face at 5-2, 5 past. That's what the judges are looking for.
And you have to be able to catch high and push out for the next element to be added. Well,
I think it'll go above Georgiou. But maybe not just good enough to cuff Tam. We'll have to wait and see. But a great performance.
He's into second, 14.566 for Svorgal of Lithuania. So Covington leads on 14.6. Svorgal 14.566, and Georgiou in third with a score of 14.366. Alexander Mäkinen, he took a bronze in 2020. Finals littered with European medalists. He's going for a 5-9 difficulty. Oh, it's up there.
Oh, stoop in and out. Oh, that turn was late. Didn't get his second hand on until quite late. That was better. Here comes the big release, the full twist, very nice catch. Plenty of swing in the tuck position as well, absolutely at arm's length. There's the Kachev, but an extra swing before the straddle Kachev, and then another swing before the next element. That breaks the series. Nicely controlled Stalder, his close bar element. Here comes the dismount. A little bit different technique, straight off the bar, then pull the full twist in, but a little pace, and I don't think it was quite up there.
Yeah, I agree, Chris, actually. I mean, good variety in the routine with the Kovacs and the Kachevs, but you can see the difference of the height of the Kachev, you know, between this and the previous performer. He's almost dropping down and not catching before horizontal, and these are just the tenths that the judges are looking to pick up. And the first squat dislocate with the full turn, the half turn was better, but the first one you picked up on, Chris, it was a bit wild, you know, and he'll get absolutely hammered with that. I don't think it'd be good enough to challenge the top three, but lots of potential.
Great release and catches like that, though, you know, really at full stretch.
This is the one I was saying a bit low. You see how he's catching, and he just didn't have the height as the previous gymnast, but a well-balanced routine, lots of potential. Lovely height on that dismount as well, but that big step, at least a 3/10.
There was only ever going to be tenths in it anyway, so very, very close indeed.
So where will that put him?
Mid-table, mid to late table, who knows? Fifth, yeah, 14.1 for Mäkinen. Accepts the score graciously. human Aberdeen, the young Italian. He took a bronze in the all-round competition, just 22 years old, and he is going all out for difficulty, matching the highest in this competition with a 6.
Well, he's winding up for this first big release. Oh, that was good, a little close. The Casina. And again in the tuck position. Close to the bar. Oh, that's lovely. Full twist in the squat dislocate. That's what the Julie up into handstand. Oh, lovely Stolderkachev. Nice mix and variety of the routine. The hop full turn in the Giant. In-bar work, one of the requirements. Needs a dismount. Would it be good enough to land on a medal? Kicks up. Double twisting, double straight. What a shame, the end of that.
That was a shame. He was on for a big, big score there. He might still sneak in, who knows? Marius Georgiou in third at the moment with 14.366, but
I just think he was a bit close on the first two release and catches, Chris, don't you? The judges will hammer for that.
Yeah, having spoken about it, this was obvious that you see, look, he's slightly bent armed, shoulders open, and the second one, he actually had to arch his back quite a bit to continue his swing.
He nearly needed a gum shield for the second one, Chris, didn't he? He was that close.
But a great dismount, lovely double twist, as opposed to the single twist that a lot of the gymnasts have used. Obviously, the double twist is more difficult, gets more points, but is a little bit more tricky to land.
I think he had the best squat dislocate with a full turn, nearest to handstand that we've seen. You can see the potential of this gymnast.
Yeah, that was really quite a big step.
And he'll be back in action for the team tomorrow, won't he?
oh, he will, yeah, absolutely.
We'll see most of these gymnasts back in action for their team final tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it.
2:30 is the time. 13.833 is Aberdeen's score. He finishes down in 7th, but that means that Ilya Kovtun takes the European high bar title. What a moment for him, the champion. He got a bronze. That's his best ever placing in a European high bar final. So to take the title as the champion, what a moment for Kovtun. Robert Svogel, he takes the silver medal for Lithuania, but Marius Georgiou, a former European champion, he takes the bronze. Yet another medal for him. What a championships he's having. He's been on the podium more times than he hasn't so far.
Well, he's certainly been his championships, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Man of the moment.
And it's so great to see him so thrilled about it. You know, he lives it with you, doesn't he? He draws people into him.
And he's obviously very popular with the other gymnasts. You know, he gets lots of congratulations.
Confirmation that Ilya Kovtun of Ukraine is the European high bar champion. Robert Svogel of Lithuania, he takes the silver medal, but yet another medal for Marius Georgiou of Cyprus. He takes the bronze.
Interestingly, I've just looked at the all-around results, and Kovtun did work all-around, actually.
All
but
right.
he had a particularly poor score on floor, an 11.9, which would have been the reason that he didn't figure higher. He was 6th all-around, so not too shoddy.
So we get another look at Georgiou on the high bar.
Look at our medalists.
He has got a real style about his gymnastics now, Chris, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, and, you know, from this championships, he'll build and build, I think.
And maybe, you know what, actually, if he hadn't have had that big jump forward, it would probably be a silver. But yeah, he has done a great job. Torgal picked up the silver with this routine. That was the impressive part for me, Chris. The height on those releases, and that's what the judges are looking for. And we talk about amplitude, and again, just nailing that dismount.
Well, they're all so close. Those are the things that really make a difference, aren't they?
Yeah, and then a good turn into handstand. The judges really looking for that, and I think that's what really, you know, hindered Aberdeen in the end. He was a bit too close on those release and catch. See, that's what we're talking about, the extension away from the bar.
Yeah, linking those elements, picks your difficulty up, and also makes you look a lot more exciting. Interestingly, his coach has always stood in on high bar for his dismount, as if it was something that was an anxiety to him.
Yeah, and the coaches are allowed to stand in. We see a lot, don't we, on the bars for the girls, and you know, as long as they don't touch them, it's absolutely fine. If it gives them the confidence to perform safely, that's what it's all about. But he really has shone in these Apparatus finals this afternoon. Luigi's getting another job. Camera animal.
Oh, he's getting some instruction here.
Well, I hope he leaves it to the professionals tomorrow for the team final. The big countdown. Koftan's second gold of the day. Georgiou's fourth medal of the championships. I think that might be it for Georgiou in medals, Chris. I can't see them picking up a team medal, qualifying down in 8th place.
No, I don't think so, but they'll be very thrilled, I think, to be in the team final.
Absolutely, and to go back with 4 medals and an all-round champion, it was probably outside of their expectations, really.
I think he would have been Giorgio hoping to be able to win himself a place in Paris, which the top all-rounder was always able to do, but it's quite a big pressure when you know you've got to actually win.
Yes, absolutely.
And here they come, the gymnasts. I think the smile on Giorgio's face has got bigger and bigger each medal. So Marius Giorgio, Cyprus, picks up another medal, full set now. And Robert Dvorgal for Lithuania, the only final we've seen him in here, Craig, but he made it count.
Yeah, so close to taking the title. Have to settle for silver this time.
And the champion, Ilya Kovtun from Ukraine. Ukraine have had a very strong championships here. Go into team final as the favourites.
It's been a long competition for some of these gymnasts. Not so long for the specialists.
A very special moment for Kovtun. And there we see the high bar medals. Gold to Kovtun, silver to Dvorgal, and bronze to Giorgio.
Well, that's it for the Apparatus finals. We hope you can join us tomorrow at 2:30 for the team final. Hope you can join us then. Bye for now.
To pick myself